What's going on out there, YouTubers? Cyberneticshark here with another new movie review for you guys. So let's go right into this review and see what I saw. So welcome to another awesome movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching and thank you for liking. I always appreciate all my subscribers, and I love that you guys keep coming back and watching these awesome videos. So to get into this awesome movie review, basically the movie review I'll be talking about is a movie that came out a couple months ago. I'm just getting around to finally, doing a review on it. It's, there's been so many other videos I've been wanting to put out before I put this one out, so I'm finally getting around to putting this out, even though the movie came out like 2 months ago. Anyways, this film is an awesome film that is a sequel to an awesome film, beginning of a new film series of already a great film series that we're already accustomed to. Now, this film series follows an awesome kind of the magic world and gives us a whole new idea of, what the magic world is. And this is more of like a prequel to that first series that we already have. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, I know what you're talking about. It's the second Fantastic Beasts film, and you're correct. It is Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald. Oh, yeah! So this awesome film is just a really great film. I know it didn't get a lot of great reviews from the critics and stuff like that. But I think it's a really well-rounded film. I think it was an interesting film. And also, I totally understand, why people are a little confused by the film. Now, if you haven't seen it yet, or haven't read anything about the film, basically when Warner Brothers was going to create this film series, they were actually creating it like it was one long film. So 5 films is one long, 10-hour film, basically. So this film, if you kind of feel that it's like jumbled and you don't understand it, it's because this is kind of supposed to be like the second act of this really long film. So keep that in mind if you haven't seen it and you're about to go see it. Definitely keep that in mind when you see it, because this film is not really intended to be a sequel. It's more like a portion of a long film that you're going to see in when all 5 films have finally been put out, basically. So to talk about this awesome film, this film is none other directed by an awesome guy that has directed a few other Harry Potter films, and that, of course, is Mr. David Yates. Now, like I said, he directed a few other Harry Potter films. He actually directed the last 4 of the Harry Potter series, and also directed the first Fantastic Beasts as well. So that brings me to the 2 films that I feel are really fantastic that he has directed. Of course, the first one happens to be the first Fantastic Beast. Now, Fantastic Beasts 1, I think, was an amazing film, a great new reintroduction to the awesome Wizarding World. We're getting our first aspect, really, of what, magic people are like over in the United States versus England. So that was really fun to see. And also, at the same time, we got reintroduced to some characters that we had seen older, and now we get to see them younger. And also, we're seeing these new characters that we've heard about that weren't around in those films, the original Harry Potter series, and kind of getting to know them. So I thought that David Yates did a really good job of, making the first film, the first Fantastic Beasts, and giving us a whole new idea, and kind of giving us an overall perspective and storyline of these characters that we've heard about in previous Harry Potter films. Really well done. I thought it was a really fantastic film, and definitely a must-see. I think it's a really great film. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out, people. It's worth the watch. Now, that brings me to the second film that David Yates directed. And that, of course, is the first or the second film of the Harry Potters that he directed. And that, of course, is the Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Now, I really enjoyed the Half-Blood Prince, even though it was so different than the book. They left out so much stuff from the book. And, it wasn't long enough, because, they really needed to do, a 3 to 4 hour long movie to do that book. But I still thought they did a really good job with it, and made a really decent, new entry into the Harry Potter franchise. And I thought it was really fun. I loved how, Daniel Radcliffe, how his Harry Potter evolved. I loved the idea of, finally getting to see what happened to the giant spider from the second Harry Potter film. What happened to Aragorn? Is he still alive? And stuff like that. And, we got to see more of, what other characters, what some of their secrets are of who they were and what they have, become and evolved like. And I thought that the Half-Blood Prince did that, and I thought David Yates did a great job of, even though he wasn't, he didn't put everything that was in the book, he still did a good job of bringing together a great film and a great, spread of that book, and did a really good job. So this movie has a great cast, and we actually have a few people that came back from the first film to this film as well. Now, to start off this awesome cast, we have none other than Mr. Grindelwald himself, Mr. Johnny Depp. Now, Johnny Depp, we all know from a slew of films: Sleepy Hollow, Edward Scissorhands, the Pirates of the Caribbean series, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, The Rum Diary, so many films over the years. But a couple films I really enjoyed him in and thought he was fantastic in were none other than an awesome film that came out a few years ago that was just a really fun film. I thought it was an interesting rendition of, basically this great childhood book. And it was so much different than the original that they did back in '71. But at the same time, I thought it gave us a whole new perspective on the book that was, written by Mr. Roald Dahl. And that, of course, is the awesome film Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. This, rendition, of course, was so much more like the book versus the original one with, Gene Wilder. Even though that's a fantastic film. Absolutely love that film. It's one of a kind. Definitely, I liked it a lot more than this one. But at the same time, I thought this one was really good too, and I really enjoyed it. I thought Johnny was great as Willy Wonka. I thought that the direction Tim Burton took with it and made it so much more like the actual book was fun to see too. To see what was so different from the 1971 to this 2005 version. And I thought that they did a really good job, and I thought Johnny was amazing and so super funny, and just did a really great job. That brings me to the second film that I really enjoyed that Johnny Depp was in. Now, the second film happens to be an awesome film from 1995, with a younger Johnny Depp, that is just a really awesome action thriller. And I just thought the film was really well done and fun. And I thought that, the cast that was in it was really awesome, too. I mean, you had Christopher Walken in it. You had Charles S. Dunn in it, which he's an awesome actor. Just a really well-rounded cast. And that, of course, is a film called Nick of Time. Now, this awesome film, like I said, is an action thriller. And basically the premise of the film is, for some reason, these bad guys decide to pinpoint Johnny Depp and to use him for their political scheme that they're about to do and this dirty deed. So they pick him because they see that he has a daughter, basically, and that they can hold her for ransom to get him to do the dirty deed that need to get done. And basically the film's about him trying to stop this from, him having to do it and to save his daughter. It's a really well done film. I really enjoy it. I think it's just amazing, and I thought Johnny was so amazing. I absolutely loved him. You could see the true joy in his eyes being a father character in the film. You could see how sincere and how much he really seemed like a father, and just how just encouraging and awesome he was as like a father character. He just did a really amazing job, and I really enjoyed him in it, and I thought he did a fantastic job. But when it comes to being Grindelwald, I thought he was perfect for the role. He's that perfect aesthetic, that perfect just like that creepiness a little bit to himself, and kind of that, kind of solemn appearance and approach to the character. And I thought he did a fantastic job. And I'm looking forward to seeing what else he brings to the character too. And he really brought an essence to Grindelwald, because we're not... we have very limited information on who he is and what he is, except for what we learned about him in that, in the first Harry Potter franchise. And basically, about him and his final battle with Dumbledore. And you don't really know much other. So it's interesting to see this character come to life and, what he was about and why he's doing this and, what he has, entail that he wants to happen to the world. So I thought Johnny really brought that and gave us that whole presence and really gave us a whole new look on Grindelwald and that character that we didn't have too much information on. So that brings me to my second actor in this awesome film. Now, the next person up is an awesome actor that has been around, has done a lot of great roles. He's been in so many, different types of roles. you know, different genres. He's done drama, he's done dramedy, he's done comedy, he's done action sci-fi, he's done action. I mean, he's done so many things. I mean, a few films that he's been in, such as Contagion, Don Hemingway. He was in a slew of films over the years that have just been interesting roles and definitely interesting characters that he's played. And that actor happens to be the awesome and amazing actor, Mr. Jude Law. Now, Jude Law, I think, is a fantastic actor. I think he's amazing. I absolutely love pretty much everything he's in, and I thought he was a fantastic choice for the character that he played in this as Dumbledore. So we get to finally see Dumbledore at a younger age, you know, versus in the other films. We've kind of saw him previously, they made him look a little bit younger, but not really because, you know, unfortunately the characters or the actors that played him in the previous films, such as Richard Harris and Michael Gambon, are older gentlemen, so they had to kind of make them look a little bit younger, but not really much younger. So this is interesting to see Dumbledore kind of like in his prime years. You know, maybe he's like in his 40s, or maybe he's in his 50s. I'm not too sure, but it's interesting to see him at this age. And I thought Jude was a perfect choice and really played it very well. Now, a couple films I really liked Jude in are such films as the awesome 2015 comedy film that is just an absolutely awesome film. Great cast. You had Melissa McCarthy in it. You had Jason Statham. You just had a great, awesome cast. And that happens to be awesome comedy film Spy. I absolutely love Jude Law in this film, especially the scene where he's like, "It's a funny cupcake." That was just like the funniest, you know, scene in the whole film with him, or when he sneezes at the beginning of film and he accidentally shoots the guy in the head. Absolutely freaking hilarious. He was so good in it and just so stinking funny, and just really brought that great, you know, directing and acting presence that he's so good with. And just, he was so funny in that film. Really enjoyed him in it. Thought he was really, you know, fantastic in it. Now, the other film that he was in that I think he was fantastic in is an awesome film that came out in 1999 or even 2000. I can't remember exactly. I think it was either 99 or 2000. But this awesome film was directed by Steven Spielberg and is it's a play or a movie that was based on something that Stanley Kubrick was working on before he passed. And that happens to be the awesome sci-fi action flick, AI. Oh yeah. I absolutely loved Jude Law as that robotic gigolo character. I thought he was absolutely awesome. I loved just his presence, how he acted, how he worked with Haley Joel Osment, and I just thought he did a really fantastic job with the role. I think he was so funny and fun, and just did a really amazing job, and just made a really funny, you know, and like just really awesome performance, because he was so sincere, I feel, in it, and just his movements as like being a, you know, an android was just really well done too. So it's a really great performance, and I just think he was really great, and I love that character that he portrayed in it, and that I thought it was a really fantastic role. Now, it comes to, like I said, playing Dumbledore, I think he was perfect. I think he looks amazing. He was so awesome in Fantastic Beasts 2. I loved his rendition of Dumbledore, and, you know, kind of this being the earlier Dumbledore, you know, age and stuff like that, and him dealing with his relationship with Grindelwald. I thought it was really fantastic to see how Jude took it, and he took it very well. And, you know, just gave us that backstory that we were looking for, why they had this epic battle, why they went this way, like, what happened between them. And I think that Jude really presented that really well and made it a very fantastic performance, and was a really great addition in that film. So that brings me to my next awesome actor that's in this film. Now, of course, this guy is the other main lead in the film, who is just really fun in these film series. I think he's fantastic. His other films that I've seen him in, he was okay, I feel. I thought he was decent, but I definitely think that this is his best role today in these Fantastic Beasts films. And that, of course, is Mr. Eddie Rayman. Now, Eddie Rayman, you might, like I said, recognize from the first Fantastic Beast and a few other films that he's done over the years. Now, a couple films I've seen him in and thought he was okay, and it wasn't too bad. I don't think they're the greatest performances, or one of them I don't feel was Oscar-worthy, but I still think that he did a decent job, and it made it interesting to see what these actual people were like. Now, the first film I'm going to be talking about is the one he won his Oscar for back in 2014, and that is the film called The Theory of Everything. Now, if you're not familiar with what that film is about, it's basically about the life of Stephen Hawking's, and basically, his battle with ALS, and just, how he basically outlived, most diagnosis of that disease, and just like what his life was like, what he went through, and basically like a biographical drama. And I thought Eddie was okay as Stephen Hawking. I thought he did a pretty decent job, but I didn't think it was Oscar worthy. I definitely thought that it was up there with par, very well done, but at the same time I don't think that all the other actors he beat out that year, I think some of the other actors during that year were a little better, but at the same time he still was very good in it, and it was a okay and decent film. Now, the other film is actually another film based on a true story. It's actually based on this man decided that he basically wanted to change genders because he felt like he was the other gender his whole life. And that is the biographical film that came out a couple years ago called The Danish Girl. Now, The Danish Girl, like I said, is based on this character, this biographical, character that, this happened back in the early 1900s. And Eddie Raymond plays that character of the man that's, basically feels like he's actually a woman and goes through with gender reassignment surgery, basically. And in the film, I thought he was okay. I definitely felt that I'm not sure exactly how accurate his portrayal of the character was, or because we really don't know much about that person because they died so many years ago, and unfortunately we didn't get to see them like in any type of videography or anything, videos or anything like that, or see them actually deal with these things because it happened so many years ago. But at the same time, I thought that, this is an interesting rendition. It's interesting to see this person's story, and I thought Eddie did a decent job of showing what that person went through, and, what it was like for his family, and what it was like for, what he, or, that person was, feeling and going with, and, why they pursued that. And I thought that Eddie did a good job of portraying that and giving us, kind of that person's life story so that we can be enlightened in what, people today, unfortunately, you have to go through, when they want to pursue this life because they feel that's who they are. I think it was a very, interesting film, very different, and definitely something that, definitely to check out just to see what it, what it's all about and how this person paved the way for so many today. Really interesting film, and definitely Eddie Raymond did a decent job. But it comes to playing Newt Scamander again in the awesome Crimes of Grindelwald. He was fantastic again. Absolutely loved him in it. Thought he was so good and funny. Lots of great scenes with him. Lots of great, just quotes, and just being the awesome Newt Scamander he is, giving us more of who Newt Scamander is, where he stands, how he feels, and what his place in the wizarding world is. And he just did a fantastic job and made a really decent portrayal of Newt Scamander and giving us more of who that character is, like I said. Because, once again, like I said, in the original series, we knew he wrote Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. But we didn't know much about what brought him to do that. And we're seeing that. And I think Eddie is really bringing that to light and giving us who, Newt Scamander is. And he, just did a really great job. So to round out this awesome cast, we have none other than an awesome guy that I think is absolutely freaking hilarious. Absolutely love this guy. I think he's so good. I think he's so amazing. Just a super awesome actor, and he's just so funny at comedy. And I just really always enjoy him and everything he does. And that, of course, is Mr. Dan Folger. Now, you might recognize Dan Folger from a few other films, but a couple films I really enjoyed him, or a TV show I really enjoyed him in, and a movie that I really enjoyed him in, are just really fantastic films, and just really great shows, and just a really great comedic performances by him. Now, the first one I'd like to talk about is the TV show. Now, he has currently repeated playing a certain character in an awesome TV show that's based on the 80s, that's on, TV today. It's on its 6th season, and I absolutely love his character as this brother of one of the main characters in the film. or show, I should say. And that, of course, is the awesome show, The Goldbergs. Absolutely love him as the dad's brother. He's absolutely freaking hilarious. Every scene he's in is total perfection comedy. He makes me laugh so hard and just is so perfect at playing this character, and just brings to light this awesomeness and this hilarious performances, and just the antics he gets into with the kids and stuff are so freaking funny. He's so fantastic, and he's such a great comedian, and I think it's one of my favorite performances that he does is playing that character, and he's just so stinking good. Now, the other show, or movie, I should say, that he was in that I think he's fantastic in, is none other than an awesome film that came out in 2007 or 8. And it's just a really funny kind of comedy slash film that has a great cast. Had Thomas Lennon in it, Terry Crews, Christopher Walken, James Hong. Just a really fun show. George Lopez, a movie. And that, of course, is the awesome film Balls of Fury. Oh yeah, if you haven't seen Balls of Fury, you gotta see it, people. It's so freaking funny. So hilarious. Now, Balls of Fury, if you're not familiar with it, basically what it's about is he actually, Dan Folger's character is basically this really great ping pong player. And he's a kid when he first starts playing, and he's super good. He goes to the finals, is battling Thomas Lennon's character to go to Disney World and to, be the world champion. And unfortunately, loses. And unfortunately that kind of goes with him as he gets into an adult, and he kind of gives up on it. But then the FBI asks for his help to infiltrate this ping pong, contest that basically is trying to bring down this syndicate of this bad guy, basically, and he gets back into doing it and becomes a ping pong master again. Super hilarious film, so funny and awesome. Loved the cast in it, and Dan was just so awesome in it. He's so freaking hilarious. And he rocks out so well to, Def Leppard in the movie and stuff like that. It's just a really fun and awesome performance by Dan. And he was so good and so awesome in it. Really enjoy the film. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out, people. It's worth the watch. So when it comes to his character, of course, his same character from the first Fantastic Beast into the second Fantastic Beast, once again, it was so awesome seeing the film. Originally, they had said that his parts was really small, but after seeing it, we were like, both me and my girlfriend were like, his part was huge in this. It wasn't a little part. He was awesome again. Absolutely loved him in it. So stinking funny. Loved his character. He had some great one-liners, some great scenes, especially at the beginning when you first get to see him again and he's under the love spell that, Queenie has put on him. It's absolutely freaking hilarious just how he's acting. It's so freaking fun. A great performance once again by Dan. He was so awesome in it, and I can't wait to see him play that character again in more of the films, and just get to see him in more films. He's just a really great comedian. Really enjoy him, and he just did a really fantastic job in the film. So if you're not familiar with what Fantastic Beasts 2, The Crimes of Grindelwald is about, basically the premise of this film is we get introduced to younger Dumbledore, and he asked Newt Scamander to help him with basically finding out what Grindelwald is doing and what they can do to stop him. And basically, in this one, Grindelwald breaks out of prison and is, starting this giant legion of followers. And basically, a few of the characters get drawn in. And it's basically kind of giving you a kind of some summarization of what's going on and what it's leading to for the grand finale in the 5th film, basically. So that's what basically this one's about. It's about, getting to know more about Grindelwald, more about younger Dumbledore, and what him and Newt Scamander have in mind, like what they're trying to do, and them trying to see what's Grindelwald's doing, what he's trying to do, and trying to stop him, basically. So that's pretty much the premise of this film. But it was so fantastic. I thought it was absolutely great. Loved it. Thought it was really well done. I did feel it was a little fast-paced, but that is expected because it's supposed to be kind of like a middle piece to one long movie. And I just think that it was really well done. I don't think the critics were correct on it. I think that it was just as good as the first one, or even better. The graphics were so amazing, and I just thought it was a really cool concept and a really great sequel to, an already great new franchise. Definitely a must-see. A giant 10 golden movie boxes up on this one, guys. Definitely check it out. Worth the watch. Really fun and really enjoyable. Totally should see it in theaters. It's a great film, people. Check it out. So that's the end of this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. And also, thank you for subscribing. If it's your first time here, if you've been here before and you haven't hit that subscribe button, what do I gotta do? Do a wishy-wandy thing and make it, hit it? Come on, people. Hit that button so you don't miss this video and the awesome videos I put up. As always, people, keep your eyes out for any older, newer videos you might not have seen mine yet. And also, people, check out the awesome Stardust app where you can watch 3 to 30-second little mini reviews on TV shows, trailers, movies, anything your heart desires, where this awesome app is constantly updating, adding awesome new features such as polls and contests and all kinds of cool stuff. So if that's something that interests you, download it for free. That's right, free. Look for me under the Cybernetics 13. Follow me, and I'll follow you back. And as always, people, guess what? I officially have hit my 100th subscriber! So, because I've hit my 100th subscriber, I will be doing an awesome contest to win an awesome copy of the Christmas horror film Krampus. Yeah, so I decided I'm gonna do a giveaway for it. So if you are interested in winning this awesome film and getting it unopened, that's right, it's unopened, nothing's missing. It's gonna have the digital HD and everything, all that kind of cool stuff. Because I already got the digital HD because I already have the movie. But anyways, so if you're interested, this is what you gotta do, people. This is what you gotta do. So number one thing, you have to be a subscriber. Alright, people? So if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to enter this contest, you gotta subscribe. So if that's something that interests other people, let them know. Tell them to subscribe. And that's the first step to being, entered into the contest. Alright, so rule number 2 is leave a comment down below saying that you're subscribed and also the reason why you would like to win this awesome Krampus film. And number 3, like and share this video. So if you also want to be entered in this contest, you got to share it, let people know, say, hey, check out this video, and let them know, say, hey, check out this cool contest. Woohoo, So those 3 things is all you got to do to be entered in this contest. I'm going to do this contest for about a month, and at the end of January is when I'll take in all the people that have done it. Once that's done, what I'll do is at the beginning of February, I will have randomly picked a winner. They will be notified, and they get their cool prize. So thank you guys for bringing me to my 100th subscriber. Thank you for being an awesome audience and subscribers. And catch you in the next one.